Okay, going back to the bone stock car. I'm going to go backwards here a little bit because I need to go to the scrapyard. So I'm going to go over what to keep here and how to tell what's what and this and that, blah blah blah. So as you can see, I took the hood off. The reason I took the hood off is it's a lot easier to get the heater core and the evaporator out, which you can see I've already done. With the heater core out, you can take the screen off. You can take the bolts out of the firewall, and then you can split this case in half. It's usually glued pretty good, so you're going to just end up breaking it anyways, but that's why it wouldn't come out. There's one missing screw. That's how it always is. That's why it always breaks too, is because you're always missing one screw somewhere that's buried under dirt. But anyways, there you go. And I will show you what I took out of there and what it is. Plus what I did is I went around to the headlights, all light connectors for all the wiring. I just cut the two pair of wire cutters there and cut the terminals right after the terminals so the wires be nice and clean. It's more money if it's less junk on it, but anyways. So you go, here's the evaporator. I took it out in one whole chunk with the AC lines. What I will do to get these AC lines off, since I have a cutting torch, plasma cutter would work a lot better because plasma cutters work great on aluminum. But I'll just cut these crimps pieces here and pull the hoses off so it's nice clean aluminum. And that's the evaporator for the inside of the AC. That's also nice aluminum. What was sitting right next to it was the electric fan motor. I will take the plastic fan off, but let me give you a tip on motors. Unless you got a place that's different, all the places I go to, basically they're buying these for the windings inside, the electric copper windings inside. But don't take it apart and just give them that piece, because the price is the same no matter what. So, except for the plastic, because I don't want them to maybe possibly deduct. Just leave it intact. Same thing with the wiper motor. You know, all they want is the copper windings in the motor part there. But I haven't found a place that pays anything different for an armature or whatever. So, just giving the whole motor, you're going to get more money that way because it weighs more. And the heater core, which is draining right here, that is lovely brass, which is sometimes as high as $1 a pound. Same thing with the copper. See all the copper wire cut out there. Like I said, just it pays less than if it was pure copper, but they get really pissed off when you try and burn the stuff anymore. So, like I said, I just cut the terminals off. It's faster anyways. Because that's about all I got left to do to this car. As for getting stuff for scrap, I'll go through the interior and the trunk, same thing. Let's walk back there and show you. Basically all I'll do is just snip it at all the wire connections. These speaker wires, you can try, but I'm pretty sure the speaker wires are metal for some reason, steel. Like all the wires, speaker wires. This car had an amp in it, so all that wire, just cut it to get it out fast. You take the radiator when it's done. If your radiator's completely toast, as in wrecked, but if it even barely holds water, I keep them for spares, because you never know what happens out there. And that's about it. Yeah, sometimes I'll have aluminum bumpers on cars that you're going to not run stock and put steel bumpers on. You can take the backing will be aluminum, you can take that out. I think I actually have one left over from a long time ago I somehow forgot about back there. I'll look for that. But I think I'm going to be taking the wife's car today for scrapping, because it's going to be hotter. The dash should be fun. I'm probably just going to bust it out because I don't want to take all the bolts out, but we'll see. And when I get to it, I will show you how to deal with the power seats. You can see this one, the wiring is mounted on the door, which is a pain in the butt. When it's mounted on the seat itself, like the passenger seat was amazing. It's got power seats, and it's also just mounted to the seat itself. That's easy. You got a power and a ground. You might be asking, why does that matter? Well, what I'm going to do here is then I'll pull the wires out later and show you. Leave enough extra wire, because if you ever want to move the seat, most people put the dash bars close, but if I don't do that anymore. But If you ever want to move the seat for any reason, any other person's driving the car, you can hot wire it across the wires, even though it's a lot more complicated with the multiple wires as opposed to just 2 wires. It still can be done. Basically, all you got to figure out is front and back, unless you really want to worry about up and down. Typically, this, like I've already set the up and down on this seat. It's just the front and back I have to worry about now. But front and back you have to worry about also, because I need to take this seat out and fix it. When they recovered these seats, they left that part of the mechanism out, so you imagine that would not be good in a derby. So I'll take it and weld it or 9-wire it down. We gotta make sure I do it good, because I've broken seats that were solid, let alone try and jerry-rig something here. Well, there you go. I don't know if I'll get to strip them doors, but I'm going to try and get as much copper out of this thing and aluminum, and head on down the scrapyard. So, see you for now. Okay, I added a side note here. I took the dash out mostly. Actually, you'll see pieces still attached because I took it out with a sledgehammer. There was a piece over there I had to unbolt, but I just wanted to get the wires out fast, so I beat the tar out of it with a sledgehammer and got it out. But that's not part 2. I forgot the most important thing. There's the wire trim. I forgot about all the aluminum trim on these cars. So there's the pile there. And you can take that down with your cans, whatever. But yeah, don't forget to take the aluminum trim. There may be some pieces inside the interior, but I ain't getting that crazy today. The sun's starting to come in, so it's going to start getting hot here. But that's it, yeah. All the wiring's pretty much stripped. I guess a side note also, people are probably wondering, why am I cutting all the wire out? Don't I need it to run? Like I've stated before, I never trust this stuff in a derby. You never know what somebody's done. The only terminal you have to worry about leaving intact is leave a little bit of room to solder a wire to the HEI or the coil, and then that's about it. I don't even use the wires that are on the starter. I'll just take that apart. I'll show you all this later on. All my stuff is ready to go. Usually the tranny cooler or battery box has the switches already mounted, and the wires and battery cables stay with it, but I'll go over that later. Like I said, this was just on getting all your wire out of the car, any aluminum you can, any brass, and heading down the scrapyard so you can make a little extra money. I always tend to do this because I got to go drop off a rim and get a rim, so I usually do this when I have a reason to go down there, maybe looking for bumpers, whatever. Just trying to make it the most profitable trip down there. But there you go. I'll see you guys later.